Hi, my name is Khan Oksoy, and I'll be presenting on Web Application Security. The learning goals for this presentation are as follows. First, I will define security in the context of the web. Then, I will give a historical example of a security vulnerability in the web. Afterwards, I'll introduce some common vulnerabilities on the web as well as solutions to these vulnerabilities. What is web security? According to Mozilla, web security is the practice of protecting websites from unauthorized access, use, modification, destruction, or disruption. Additionally, a vulnerability is a weakness in a website allowing for violation of its security. So why is web security in particular so important? The first aspect is that websites often store private user information, such as credit card information as well as passwords. Furthermore, websites can be targeted by anyone around the world. This is what makes it more difficult to protect against than physical security, where the attacker needs to be nearby in order to be effective. A famous historical example of a web vulnerability is Heartbleed, which is a bug in OpenSSL allowing attackers to access server memory containing encryption keys. Using these keys, attackers can then sniff any communications, such as credit card numbers, social security numbers, and so on. The crazy thing about this vulnerability is that it existed for nearly 2 years in production before being patched. Here are some common vulnerabilities that we as developers can aim to prevent. One of the most common types of vulnerability is the cross-site scripting or XSS vulnerability, which occurs when a website displays user-created content to others without properly cleaning it. An example could occur on an unsafe forum that allows users to post whatever they want. The attacker could post the following JavaScript, which opens up an alert in the viewer's browser. Then, whenever the viewer goes to that post on the forum, this event will automatically occur in their browser. Of course, this is a relatively harmless example, but these JavaScript snippets can allow for arbitrary code to be executed on others' browsers. The worst-case cross-site scripting attack involves the attacker stealing a user's session cookie, which then allows them to gain full access to their account. Then, with the account, the attacker can change their password or do whatever they'd like. Fortunately, there's a relatively simple solution to XSS attacks. In particular, the main solution involves filtering user content to escape questionable pieces, such as HTML tags. For example, in this case, a script tag simply becomes this content on the right, which is not harmful to other users. There are many existing libraries that make this escaping process very easy for developers. Another common security vulnerability is the cross-site request forgery or CSRF attack, which occurs when a website does not validate the legitimacy of requests made by users. Consider a banking account that allows users to transfer their funds. An attacker can send an email to a user containing a link that automatically triggers a transfer of the user's funds. When the user clicks that link, this transfer will automatically occur regardless of whether they wanted it to occur or not. This is because the browser stores the cookies for the user's session on the banking website regardless of if they are currently interacting with that page or not, allowing arbitrary requests to be executed. In the worst case, the CSRF attack allows an attacker to perform any arbitrary action such as changing a password or transferring funds from a user's account. Fortunately, there is a relatively simple solution called anti-forgery tokens. Basically, in this scheme, each request contains a token generated by the server. Whenever a request is received by the server validates that token and rejects the request if it is invalid. This scheme works because attackers do not have access to the user's specific token needed to trick the browser into performing arbitrary actions on the other user's behalf. Those who are interested in learning more about web security vulnerabilities can access the following website, which contains the top 10 most common security vulnerabilities on the web. On this list, there are vulnerabilities such as SQL injection, security misconfiguration, insecure deserialization, insufficient logging, and failing to update components with known vulnerabilities. Research for this presentation was taken from Imperva, the Open Web Application Security Project, the Heartbleed official website, and the Mozilla developer documentation page.